to today's video. We are back in the garage gym. If you guys saw, Pat and I did an update on everything we've done to our garage to turn it into a gym from the start of quarantine until now. We are not currently quarantined here in Columbus, Ohio, but we still train out of this gym probably 85% of the time. It has a lot of everything that we need, unless it comes to like handstand walking. Obviously, it's just a regular 2-car garage, or the rings. I can't do any kipping ring muscle ups here. And rope climbs, we have no rope. Maybe he'll come up with a solution for that. But today, what I wanted to bring, and first I wanted to touch on, is kind of what's happening in the CrossFit world. So while I'm going through this low back flow that I'm gonna take you guys through, I'm also gonna kind of give you my thoughts on where we stand for the season and everything that's upcoming. But with training this week, I've had a lot of low back intensive exercises. So I wanted to share with you guys this low back flow that I'm gonna do to help release my lower back and also make me feel good so I can keep training hard. I'll share with you guys the exact times that I'm holding these stretches so you can also give this routine a try at home. And if you like it, make sure you guys go ahead and smash that like button. But let's get started. All right, the first stretch is smash the like button. No, I'm kidding. So I'm gonna open up my GoWob Mobility First app, which is one that I love to use. I picked specific daily flow, lower back, not lower body, lower back. And the first stretch I'm gonna start with is gonna be held 2 minutes per side. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna come onto a half kneeling knee position. You're gonna have one knee slightly bent, and that's gonna be your front knee. From here, your back should be flat, and we're gonna push our hips back and just keep that neutral spine position, and you should really feel that isolate your hamstring. Then I'm gonna hit my start, and I'm just gonna hang out in this position, focusing on my breathing because it's really uncomfortable, even though it looks kind of weird, for about 2 minutes here. Once my 2 minutes dings, I'm gonna switch my legs. Good. All right, so that's 2 minutes. So the next we're gonna do is one of my favorites. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay on our back. We're gonna pull one knee past our hip, so the bent knee should be above 90 degrees, and then we're gonna pull it across our body. So what that's gonna look like, I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna pull my right knee into my chest as far as I can, elongate my opposite leg, and then I'm gonna pull this leg across my chest. The key here is to have this knee above my hip or at least at 90 degrees. So we don't want to be way down here and we're not going to feel the stretch. We're going to keep everything pulled in tight. And then I like to look the opposite way and let my opposite arm just relax. I'm going to hold this stretch. I forget how long I didn't hit start. For 1 minute per side. So I'll just breathe into my lower belly and try to relax and see if I can get this knee to fall towards the floor as I work through that minute of stretching. All right, so once we've come up off of the ground, we're gonna go into a really familiar stretch. It's called the Samson Lunge. This is one of my favorite stretches to do with my class, especially after we've had a back intensive day or a heavy squatting day just because of our hip flexors. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep our hips and our shoulders together, and we're gonna drive our hips down and forward so we get a nice good stretch through the back hip and the back hip flexor. From here, once you feel like you've kind of started to sink into that stretch, if you feel ready, then we're gonna take both hands up to the ceiling and keep reaching as much as we possibly can. The goal here is gonna be to hold 1 minute per leg. If 2 hands in the air is too intense for you, just take the arm of the knee that's on the ground and reach up and back as far as you can to continue stretching out through this quadrant. Again, 1 minute per leg, and this is gonna be a super awesome stretch for you guys. So the next stretch is a quad stretch. This is one of my all-time favorite stretches and one that I work into my routine regularly. So it's gonna be 2 minutes per side per my app. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna come down to a half kneeling position with my toe back against the wall. You'll notice I put my shoes on for this stretch because I think it's more comfortable with our toes pressing into the wall to have a shoe on, but you can kind of play with that yourself. From here, I wanna make sure that I'm not pushing my hips back, but I'm squeezing my butt and my abdominals, trying to keep a straight line so I get a nice good hip opener and I dig deeply into my quad. The more advanced with this stretch you are, or the looser your quads are gonna be, or if you have looser quads or not quite as tight, I should say, you should be able to push your back knee closer to the wall. So the closer your back knee is to the wall, the harder this stretch is gonna be. So I'm gonna start my timer, and I'm gonna hit 2 minutes per side, focusing on squeezing my butt, squeezing my abs, and keeping everything nice and upright. Whew, okay, so I just switched legs. My left side's just a little bit tighter. It always is. I'm gonna hold them both for 2 minutes, and by the end of the 2 minutes, I should be feeling pretty good. But what I did want to touch on with you guys is I received a text message from one of my friends this week that was like, hey, saw the CrossFit Games are postponed or canceled again. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So I get on, I can't find anything official, and I saw that everything happening in California with the spike in the increase with the virus and everything happening is things are shutting down again, unfortunately. It's not a great situation, but there has been no official statement made by CrossFit. So then finally last night we did get an email from CrossFit and the team there, and we've talked to the new CEO and owner, and it sounds like everything is on track, or soon to be new CEO and owner, and it sounds like everything is on track and things are going to be happening. They're going to keep all of us as safe as possible. We will be tested from the moment we arrive on site. We'll be tested again a couple days later. Then from there we'll be moved together, and all of us will stay together with no other outside interaction. So we won't be able to go to the grocery store. We'll have to have food prepared when we arrive, I guess. We're still learning all of those details. So as of now, the update is the CrossFit Games are still happening, and that's gonna be the week of September 14th. So I'm gonna keep my head down, I'm gonna keep training, I'm gonna keep doing my mobility so I can stay healthy, fingers crossed, and on track to compete in the fall. All right, so the next one is gonna be our V-sit on the wall. This is one of my all-time favorite stretches. I know I've said that about a couple. This routine is my favorite. So you're gonna lie on your back, and we're gonna hold this one for 3 minutes. That's a long time. So we're gonna lie on our back. We're gonna push our butt as close to the wall as possible. So it should be touching the wall. From here, you're just gonna let your legs drop to the side. Keeping your legs straight, it's gonna be an amazing stretch for your inner hip. For the 3 minutes, I'll hit my start. You'll notice throughout these 3 minutes, if you start to focus on your breathing and you're relaxing, you'll feel gravity slowly starting to pull your feet to the ground and your muscles just starting to let go. And that's why I love this stretch so much, is we rarely hold positions for longer than 2 minutes. And when we hold this one for 3 minutes, it gives us time to focus on our breathing and to actually relax into the stretch and just kind of feel your body starting to let go. For the next stretch, it's gonna be a forward fold. So this one's gonna be a little bit different than the other stretches in the sense that we actually wanna curl our back over. So I'm gonna have my legs extended out in front of me, and I wanna think about almost tucking my chin towards my chest, and then I'm actually gonna reach for my toes and just hang out in that position for 2 full minutes. My goal is gonna be to get my forearms on the floor and the top of my head as close to my legs as possible, which you guys are gonna laugh, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm still working on it. So again, just forward fold and tucking. So that is one of my favorite stretches. I literally feel that from the base of my neck, all the way through my tailbone, all the way through my hamstrings. So you should be feeling that one along your entire backside. And the more you tuck your chin and kind of let yourself curl over, the deeper you're gonna feel that stretch. The next stretch that we're gonna go through is gonna be just a toe against the wall calf stretch. So toe against the wall calf stretch, it's exactly what it sounds like. We're just gonna find a place on a wall. You can do this anywhere in your house, outside of your house, I don't know, just find something. We're gonna put our toe just up against the wall. And then from here, I'm gonna hit start, and I'm just gonna lean into it. You can also add a soft bend if you want in the knee, but we wanna push our body as close to the wall as we can, so we dig really deeply into our calves. We use our calves for running, for double unders, for squatting, for rowing, for everything. So you wanna make sure that we're spending time to loosen these guys up, because it's gonna help us in the bottom of our squat position. So 1 minute per side, each leg. The last stretch I'm gonna do is a down dog. And I like to do this 2 ways. I either like to pedal my feet if I'm warming up prior to starting my workout, or if it's at the end of my workout or on just a day that I'm focusing on my mobility and stretching, I like to just keep my heels pressed into the floor. So for the down dog, there's a couple key points. You wanna think about tucking your head so it's between and your biceps are right by your ears. And then you wanna think about pushing your tailbone to the ceiling or the sky. So what it's gonna look like is I'm gonna bring my hands down to the mat. I'm gonna drop my head through, press my heels to the floor, and reach my tailbone to the ceiling. I'm gonna hold that stretch for 1 minute, and it's gonna be a great stretch for my entire posterior, my hair's everywhere, all the way from my hamstrings down to my heels. That was my entire flow from Go WOD Mobility First. So when I'm done, I hit this little green check mark and I've completed my stretching for the day. You guys can do this exact routine. I should have given you in this video, if you rewind back, I gave you all of the times that you need for each stretch and some things to think about while you're doing these stretches. You can do these multiple times a week. If your back is something that bothers you, or your hamstrings or your calves, work these stretches in 2 or 3 times a week. If you're just at home and maybe you're tired and you don't want to mentally focus on anything, focus on your breathing and loosening up your body. It's a great way to kind of unwind, and it's going to prep you for a good night's sleep. That's really one of my favorite things, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I know a lot of us have questions on stretching, have questions on mobility. If you're looking for guided stretching or guided mobility, definitely check out that GoWOD Mobility First app. It's my favorite. We can link it below in the description. And then also, I know in our last video, we are in the garage gym, and I had a couple questions on do you park your cars outside all of the time? I actually don't. So when I take my doors off my Jeep, or we take the top off, we just pull it right in over the mats, and then I just back it out in the morning, or if it's gonna rain or whatever it may be, I just pull it in at night, and then I back out in the morning when it's time to work out. So it can still function as a garage, and I think that's super important. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you have a great day, and if there's anything else you guys wanna see in the future, make sure to drop it below and we'll get it to you. Have a good one.